Blackjack, ho. That's right. That's right. Shout out to my
A
car.
lot of these black guys today, these gangster type guys, they all got names like that they make up for themselves.
Is that true?
Sure. He means like the rappers. You know, the rappers, they all got names like that. Snoop Doggy Dogg, Ice Cube, Q-Tip, Method Man.
I don't know anything about that. But it makes me think about Indians.
You know, I think you're not supposed to say Indian either.
No way, really?
Yeah. I think you're supposed to call them African Americans. African Americans.
African Americans?
It comes as a great shock to discover that Gary Cooper killing off the Indians when you were rooting for Gary Cooper, that the Indians were you.
You big dummy. You's a real naga, throw a feather up. Tribe up, my naga, put your bows and arrows up. The stronghold of the naga ain't scared of us. They try to dumb a naga down, but we level
Big
up.
dummy.
Yeah. Strictly for my nagas.
Africa. I remember when they were marching, people started screaming in the suburbs, back to Africa with them, back to Africa with who? You big dummy. Shit, I ain't never been to Africa. Don't send me home, send me to St. Louis, Missouri. 4461 Enright, top floor. You big dummy. Africa, what the hell I look like? Standing in the jungle with a $750 mohair suit and some alligator shoes. That's not hunting garb. I'm here all the way. sent you,
Maria's
nigga.
ready to buy her first home.
Nobody said
Say another motherfucking word and this shit is over. And I ain't playing, nigga.
Great day. Welcome to the House of Masculinity. Hey, y'all, it's Sunday. April 23rd, 2023. And I'm Blackjack. Salute. Try but my nigga, hit that like button. That's if you a real nigga. You know you're a fake nigga. You know, if you know you're a wannabe nigga. You know what to do. Hit that dislike. Salute. Yeah, we back again. I'm about to flood these YouTube streets, y'all. I'm finna raise the content up, you know what I'm saying? I'm finna drop it left and right on them. I'm finna hit them with that left, right, uppercut. You know what I'm saying? I'm hitting with that, you can. You know what I'm saying, y'all? Salute. Hey, we coming with it. You know what I'm saying? Let's go by 2,000 to nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna keep on scoring though. I'm gonna run it up. Yeah, we about to do a drill on them, y'all. You know what I'm saying? All my niggas tribe up. We about to do a drill on them, you know what I'm saying? And tonight we talking all the American Indians really extinct. Salute.
You big dummy.
Are they really extinct? Are you extinct, my nigga? You know what I'm saying? They say you extinct. They say they wiped you out, my nigga. Or what about the Indians they enslaved? What about their descendants? You know, the one they called Negroes? Where are those people today? Are you calling them something else? Because we got a depiction of them right here. You know, the ancient American Indian. You know this guy. Sometimes you call him a blackamoor. You know what I'm saying? You call him all kind of names. Yeah, we know who we are. We're gonna get into it. Are we really extinct? Are we extinct, y'all? Hit me up in the chat. Let me know if we extinct or is we still here. Last time I checked, you know what I'm saying, I looked outside. The sky was still blue. You know, so hit me up. Let me know is the Naga extinct. We're gonna talk about it. We got concrete evidence. We always do. We won't play no games with these people. You know what I'm saying? They can play games and lie to themselves, talking about who they is, man. We know a pretender when they false flagging. We know these pretenders when we see them. We is not playing around. We just pointing it out. Taking, you know what I'm saying? We taking victory laps. But since they wanna wrestle with us, you know, they wanna wrestle with the Grand Goose, y'all. You know, they wanna slap back. They wanna slap box with the
Au bon sauvage. Au Négré l'Amérique.
Y'all wanna slap box with the Négré l'Amérique. Alright then, let's do it then. Shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm about tired of fighting with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all done lost talking about a red man. You know what I'm saying? We know better. The whole world know better. You know what I'm saying? Especially the folks in Germany. You know what I'm saying? They got this nigga right here. This l'Amérique nigga, like the French say, but this the German right here, y'all. This the Germans. You know, the French had nigga clocks, Aubon Savage clocks with the nigga on the clock, right? The l'Amérique nigga. All right, well the Germans had cigar statues in front of their store. Not only that, they made porcelain statuettes. Ain't that something? Ain't that nice? They made a porcelain statuette of the American Indian. The one they said is extinct now. Oh, what a coinky dink. Are you extinct, Managa? I don't feel extinct. You know what I'm saying? I'm alive and breathing well. What about you, Managa? They say you extinct. Is this guy extinct? This is what the German have. And they love museum. And right now we on www.metmuseum.org. metmuseum.org if you want to look it up for yourself. If you think Blackjack just be making it all up. The French made clocks with the
Au bon sauvage. Au Négré l'Amérique.
With the Négré l'Amérique. That's what the French said. Let's see what the Germans calling them. Let's see what the Germans call them. Oh, they simply call them America. Salute.
You big dummy. Now who sent you, nigga?
Somebody
Say another motherfucking word and this shit is over.
you want to find this, like I said, it's on metmuseum.org. You know, it's just America at the manufactory in Frankenthal Porcelain Manufactory. Salute. If you ain't know, now you know. Yeah, America, not Africa. America. Yeah. Like the French would say.
Et l'Amérique négrée.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah, very dark skin. Got his feathers on his head. Feathered crown. He got his arrow quiver on his back. He's knocking up clearly. He's clearly knocking up. Salute. The French told us, the German telling us now. The German said, yeah, this is America. He said, ain't no red man. He said, that red man crowd,
You big dummy.
he said, that's a lie. The Germans say, no, man.
Au bon sauvage.
Listen to
Au
the
Négré
French.
l'Amérique.
The French told you, now the Germans tell you. All the colonizers telling you who you are. And you still sitting here with this. Go back to Africa. Pan-African. Peter Pan-African. You ain't never been there. Salute to the real Africans, not the fake ones. Salute to the real Africans. Salute. But you know, over here, we not Africans, we Tamaricans. Salute. We Tamaricans over here. But salute to our brothers in Africa. You know, we down with the Africans, the real ones, not the fake ones. We know who we are over here. We Tamaricans, we American Indians. That's what they called us. That's what they called us, and they enslaved us. Now they want to say they wiped us out. Among them, more than a dozen tribes, such as the Pequot, Mohegan, and Massachusetts, were completely extinct. Oh, what a coinky dink.
You big dummy.
Among them, more than a dozen tribes, such as the Pequot. You mean to tell me the last Pequot? The Pequot is extinct? The Pequot can't be extinct. The Pequot Indians extinct? Last time I checked, the Pequot Indians look like this. How are they extinct? How are these guys extinct? I see guys that look like this right next door to me, on both sides and across the street. I can't go to the store without running into one of these guys. I don't think they're extinct, you guys. They're lying. They said the Pequots went extinct. Oh, they went extinct, or did you mean a paper genocide, or do you mean literally extinct? I think you mean on paper. Did you call them something else? Section 3, regional issues. To do some good upon their countrymen, the paradox of Indian slavery in early Anglo-America. Indian slavery in l'Amérique négrée. You know what I'm saying? Indian slavery, not African.
Et l'Amérique négrée.
Indian slavery, salute. We connect the dots, y'all. Indian slavery in early Anglo-America. By Michael Guasco. He know what he's talking about. Let's see what Michael's talking about. Salute to Michael Guasco. In the wake of the Pequot War. Oh, the Pequots. In the wake of the Pequot War in New England in 1637. The Pequot Wars in New England in 1637, right? And it says, among them, more than a dozen tribes such as the Pequots, completely extinct. Let's see if the Pequots really extinct. In the wake of the Pequot War in New England in 1637, 17 Pequot Indians, 15 boys and 2 women were ordered to be sent out of New England by Massachusetts officials. Oh yeah, they did just say Massachusetts too. They said the Pequot, the Mohegan, and the Massachusetts were completely extinct. Let's see. They say send them out of England by Massachusetts officials. They said get them out of here. Hundreds of captives had been taken by the English Puritans as a result of the colonists' triumphs in battle at Mystic and the Great Swamp. Subsequently, many Pequot men were put to death, while others were divided up among the soldiers, given to the Narragansetts or assigned to the Connecticut or Massachusetts colonies. So they didn't die, they're not extinct. The 17 women and boys, however, were placed on board the seldom-built craft of Captain Pierce and earmarked for sale in the remote Atlantic islands of Bermuda. Oh, the Nagas in Bermuda. No wonder all them Nagas in Bermuda. They sent Pequots to Bermuda. Okay. For some reason, Captain Pierce missed his landing and continued on to the West Indies, Once there, Pierce deposited his cargo on the tiny Puritan outpost off the coast of Nicaragua. Oh, Nicaragua! We did a story about the Naga Emperor of Nicaragua at Providence Island. Oh, we know about Providence Island, sugar cane plantations, whereby a stroke of the Providence Island Company's pen, the rebel Pequot Indians were transformed on paper into cannibal Negroes. Oh, so you say the Naga was cannibal? You put him as he was a Pequot Indian, but you wrote down he a Negro. Matter of fact, he a cannibal. Take them feathers off. You a slave now. Salute.
Now who sent you, nigga?
Nobody
Say another motherfucking word and this shit is over.
Cannibal Negro.
And I ain't playing, nigga.
You Indian, you Pequot Indian. Don't call them Indian no more. We're gonna whitewash that. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, we're gonna make a whole new tribe called the Cherokees, and we'll call them Native Americans. Just forget this American Indian stuff and these Nagas. You know what I'm saying? He's just a Negro. Forget his tribe. They're extinct now. Yeah, call them cannibal Negroes, right? Trent the Pequots. Y'all won't see it if y'all ain't see one reading. Say the Pequots transform into cannibal Negroes. He say these not Pequot Indians. He say these ain't Indians. He say these are cannibal Negroes. Yeah, legalese, right? Black's law. Yeah, we get it. Change the name over and over again. We get it. Look, and not only were they called cannibal Negroes, they were condemned to serve out the rest of their lives in slavery in Anglo-America's first true slave societies. Who were the first true slave societies? Indians like the Pequot, American Indians, you know, Indians like the Pequots, they was in the first slave societies. Yeah, them same slave societies, they tried to say, they was extinct. We don't call them Pequots in Massachusetts no more. You know what? They extinct. They African Americans now. Or we'll call them black or Negro or Naga. Hey, this is what they did, y'all. We just proving it. That's all. The Germans showed you, the French showed you. Who else got to show you? They would know they are the colonizers. Let's go to this one. Now let's go back to that other one was reading for a minute. It's something else I want to show y'all there. So they was condemned to America's first true slave society, right? Indian slavery has become a subject of great interest to scholars in recent years, though the most important works have focused on the 18th century and the Anglo-Spanish or Anglo-French borderlands. Newer scholarships has been particularly important because of the willingness of historians to treat slavery less as a static institution into which Indians were poured by imperial officials and labor-starved planters, and more as cultural construction that emerged as a result of negotiations between Europeans and indigenous peoples. Yeah, because we know the so-called tribe like the Cherokee was enslaving Nagas and selling them to the Europeans. We know giving up their land, making all kind of arrangements and making all kind of treaties to give up the Naga land, right? Yeah, rulers and men and women. As a result, historians have effectively reconceptualized Indian slavery. They reconceptualize. They say, you know what? Let's change the concept of this. Let's reconceptualize this. Let's change the concept. Let's call them blacks. Let's call them Negro. Let's call them African American. Stop calling them Indians. Their children later on, we don't need them to know. Salute. Yeah. So they reconceptualize Indian slavery as a normative institution with its own parameters, which ought to be distinguished from the chattel slavery practiced by Europeans. Unfortunately, though, scholarship on the enslavement of Indians during the earliest decades of Anglo-American settlement has not evolved apace. It hadn't evolved yet. They're scared to talk about it. Except in the House of Masculinity, Blackjack is kicking the door open, him and some other guys on YouTube. The record of the small shipload of Pequot Indians, for example, they just want to say a small shipload. You know better than that. With no small shipload. You sent hundreds of thousands of Pequots away. Tell the truth for once in your life. For example,
is a familiar piece of early Anglo-American history that may appear in a number of contexts. Some scholars rightly employ this event to demonstrate the constancy of the classical notion that the individuals captured in just war could be justly enslaved. But we went to war with the Pequot so we can enslave them and call them Negroes. That's all they is anyway. Salute. That's all they is anyway, right? The Pequots, right? That's all they is anyway. We'll just call them Negroes. We'll forget that tribe. We'll make a fake tribe. We'll make a tribe called the Cherokee and fill it with our people. Salute. That's what they did. But any Naga. And it says, where I just left off there. And if it's called in a just war, they could be justly enslaved. Others, however, see in the story an early example of something new coming on fruition in the colonies, such as the creeping encroachment of plantation slavery among the English in America, and the racialization of non-European, the racialization of the Indians, the racialization of non-European, the racialization of American Indians, racialize them to blacks or Negroes. That was all going early in the 17th century and would only intensify with time. Especially today, they intensified it. They calling you African American now, salute.
You
and
big dummy.
A lot of our people going for it because they don't know no better. No knowledge is power. But you can take a Naga to the water, but you can't make him drink, and you can't make the Naga think. He got to be willing, because we know they call the Pequot Naga a cannibal Negro, but they want to tell you the Indians extinct. They said among them more than a dozen tribes, such as the Pequot, Mohegan, Massachusetts, they are completely extinct.
You big dummy.
They say these Nagas don't exist anymore. They say this is not how an Indian looks now. This is not how a Cherokee looks. We call them Native Americans now. Hey man, they losing, man. Hey, we just gonna keep scoring though. We're gonna keep scoring, y'all, with real history. And before, if you want to know where I just left, cause we got receipts. We got receipts. That's on JSTOR.org. Yeah. To do some good upon their countrymen. Yeah, if you want to find that on JSTOR, there you go. I'll show you my sources, primary sources. I have nothing to hide. I'm not one of those other guys. My name is not Sarah Sutton. I like to read. I didn't go to Floyd Mayweather, you know what I'm saying, school of adult literacy, you know what I'm saying. Salute.
You big dummy.
I didn't go there, you know. I didn't go to the Floyd Mayweather School of Writing. Hey, this is to do some good upon their countrymen. The paradox of Indian slavery in early America, Anglo-America. Yeah, Indian slavery. That's how you find the Naga. All right, let's move on to the next source. We on muse.jhu.edu. It say blacks of the land. Look at this. All right, well, if y'all want to really see what it is, this is if you want to see how we get this is a Negros de Terra. In other words, blacks of the land. Negros de Terra. 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 Blacks of the land in English. Let's go to the source. Blacks of the land, Indian slavery. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Biatch. You big dummy.
I mean, at this point, the jokes just start writing themselves. I don't even have to work hard. It's just too easy. Blacks of the land, Indian slavery. Blacks of the land, Indian slavery. Blacks of the land.
Et l'Amérique négrée.
Indian slavery. Blacks of the land.
Au bon sauvage. Au négré l'Amérique.
Indian slavery. Blacks of the land, huh? What land? The Indian land, not Africa. That's not where they was at. Blacks of the land, Indian slavery. Blacks of the land, Indian slavery. Some people can't hear. They know they don't like to read. Settler Society and the Portuguese Colonial Enterprise in South America by John M. Montero. Yeah, man, what's the scope, man? I lost tracks, man. I'm getting bored now, y'all. I'm losing track, man. I mean, it's just too easy now. all this amount of evidence about who you really are. And some of y'all still don't believe me. Some of y'all still don't believe me. Not my real knowledge. Not my real knowledge tried to hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? We know the pretendians in here gonna hit that dislike. Pretendian, hit that dislike right now. You better hit that dislike, you pretendian. But all my real knoggers, they on that like button because they know the real. But these other knoggers, the Pan-African knoggers from America. Gosh, my knoggers lost, blinded. I feel for them. I try to lead them the right way, my nogger. Some knoggers just ain't gonna get it. Even though with all this evidence, it's mountain the evidence, they'll still ask me questions. But Black Jack, man, look, man, I don't know what to tell you, my nogger. I'ma just keep doing what I do. Blacks of the land, Indian slavery, settled society, and the Portuguese colonial enterprise of South America by John M. Monteiro. John M. Montero's Negros de Terra is a classic. It's a Negros de Terra is, you know, the Naga is a classic. The Naga is a classic, y'all. It's a classic in ethno-history. The Naga is a classic. Salute. The Naga is a classic, my Naga. You got classic Nagas. Classic Nagas. You know what I'm saying? Salute. It's classic in ethno-history that launched significant research on the indigenous peoples of Brazil. Oh, the Nagas of Brazil, huh? Oh, what the Coinky dinks, the ones they call Afro-Brazilians? Yeah, when they really Brazilian Indians, they Native American, they indigenous Americans, American Indians, Brazilian Indians. They're not African at all. They're not Afro-Africans. They're not Afro-Brazilians. They indigenous Brazilian Indians, so-called blacks of the land, Indian slavery. This translation introduces English-speaking readers to a complex history. Oh, it's complex. The history, oh, it's complicated. Hey, they all in their feelings, y'all. They all on their Facebook page talking about, oh, the Naga history is complicated. Y'all in their emotions. Biatch. Of colonial Sao Paulo that challenges in older historiography that celebrated bandeirantes in the exploration of the interior and discovery of gold. Monteiro reveals how they invaded indigenous lands. They invaded indigenous lands. They wasn't in Africa. They was invading indigenous lands, y'all. They invaded indigenous lands and took war captives. Who they took? They ain't take no Africans. They invaded indigenous lands and took war captives. Describing them as Negros de Terra. Negros de Terra. They describe them as Negros de Terra. The French told you, the Spanish tell you now, the Germans just told you a minute ago, the Germans made a whole porcelain figurine of the Negros de Terra.
Au bon sauvage. Au négré l'Amérique négrée.
Yeah, the Germans made a porcelain statue figurine. Ain't that nice, y'all? And now the Spanish tell you in Negros de Terra, the blacks of the land, Indian slavery. The indigenous, they took war captives from the indigenous lands, describing them as Negros de Terra, that is, blacks of the lands. In the colonial periods, the usage of Negro often signified slave. They say the usage of Negro automatically made you a slave. You a slave now, boy. I'm not a slave, boy. Who you talking to, boy? Don't make me grab my bow, boy. Get here, boy, you a slave. Take those feathers off. What? You say that one more time. See when I take your scalp off. Salute.
You big dummy.
Blacks of the land. In the colonial period, the usage of Negro often signified slave. Thus, slaves of the land, as opposed, opposed is opposite of enslaved African. Salute.
You big dummy.
Yeah. Real history, y'all. I mean, we could point it out all day. I could do this for days. Why I say I'm finna ramp up the content. I'm going live later on tonight. I got something else I'm gonna talk about. You know what I'm saying? That we're gonna live it up on YouTube, right? We're gonna control the narrative. We own it. It's our ancestors. Salute.
Biatch. Big dummy.
Hit the like, my man. Because we talking about slaves of the land. The blacks of the land, the Negros de Terra, the invaded indigenous lands that took the war captives, the indigenous war captives, the blacks of the land, the Negros de Terra, as opposite of enslaved Africans. We're talking real history. Besides integrating the indigenous into the history of Brazil. This book is fundamental to understand it. It's fundamental. It's fundamental to understanding the social foundations of colonial Sao Paulo, including early patterns of settlement, Luso-indigenous relations, and enslavement, while sugar plantations, who was on the sugar plantations, y'all? Who was over there? Who was over there whipping up the sugar, y'all? Who was on the sugar? Who was you was picking cotton? We made your ancestors get sugar. We did this here. Who it was, y'all? The Negroes they taught her? The Negroes they tell her? Huh? Yeah. With sugar plantations of the Northeast and Rio de Janeiro depending on the African slave trade. We know that's a lie. For enslaved labor, we just read that they was getting indigenous. They're trying to mix you up, Naga. They're trying to call you an African already. We ain't jumped 2 paragraphs and they already trying to call you an African. They done took your feathers off and they called you Naga. They called you Negre de Terra. And now they calling you African. That fast, but Naga, that fast. That fast. African slave trade. We know better. The settlers of Sao Paulo, as Montero demonstrates, traveled deep into the interior to capture thousands of indigenous captives. How many? Thousands of them. They was catching Nagas left, right. They said, get that Naga. They go one right there. Get that one. Get that one. That's a black of the land. Get him. Get him. Get him, boy. Get that boy. Put him in them chains. Slavery. Kunti Kinte. The real one. Yeah. American Indian. Yeah. Their bandera sometimes consisting of little more than roving corsairs, and at other times state-funded expeditions also included indigenous slaves and allies. Oh, what kind of allies? You mean the Cherokee? Using the friendly Cherokee. Using inventories, Montero documents some of the captives held by property owners between 1600 and 1729, as well as the high cost and lives of the predatory banderos. They was predatory, man. The Spanish banderos running up in there looking for Nagas. The Spanish banderos said, there go a Naga. Get that Naga. Put that Naga in the shackle right here. I got a shackle right here waiting on him. That Naga look like he can pick some cotton. Or he look like he can possibly get the sugar cane growing right. After all, he a Negroes de Terra. He a black of the land. He got to know all about the sugar cane. Salute. Not an African. Salute. Alright. Another significant theme in the expansion of landholdings with coerced indigenous labor. See, they try to slide that African stuff in there on you one time, but look what we always come back to. Coerced indigenous labor, which was needed in agriculture. Yeah, they needed them to grow the sugar, to get the cotton, right? To grow the tobacco, right? And cattle husbandry. Once a commercial market developed with the coast, wheat, meat, and vegetables were sold to many markets in Brazil. With the aid of inventories, Montero also clarifies the role of captive men. Women, and children in wheat production, and documents that indigenous slavery was the basis. What was the basis? Was African slavery the basis? He said, did these niggas come from Africa? He say, hold on. Was African slavery, is this the basis of slavery? Let's see. He say, indigenous slavery. The American Indians was the basis of the agriculture economy. In Sao Paulo. Hey, whoever calling me right now, I'm going live. But this ain't no calling-in show. So let me mute I'm gonna mute this, y'all. Hey. No particular thing. See, I got lost just that quick. Okay, it said indigenous slavery was the basis of the agricultural economy in Sao Paulo in the 17th century. In the 1600s, it was indigenous slavery was the basis. That was the basis, the indigenous slavery. Of particular interest to scholars compared to slavery is Montero's contrast between indigenous slavery as it developed in Sao Paulo and so-called African enslavement elsewhere in Brazil. Yeah, right. Plenty of Nagas in Brazil. What would you need Africans for? All these Nagas running around Brazil looking like this, and you need Africans. You're not fooling us. Using legal documents, he describes how masters treated their captives, freed them in wills, transferred them to a daughter in a dowry, or willed them to their heirs. Even the term indios fueros for manumitted Indians appears in 17th century document. Indios Fados. I gotta write that one down. I don't hope I'm saying it right. It's Indios Fados. You are Indios Fados, my nigga. You Indios Fados. Indios. Okay, you gotta with the Spanish they like to say when they do their R, they like to say you're the Indios Fados. I don't even know, man. I'm trying, y'all. Any transforming the Indian into a slave, and we also know slave meant Negro, right?
You big dummy.
Au bon sauvage. Au négré l'Amérique. Et l'Amérique négrée.
That slave also not only mean Indian, it mean Negro, right? Same people. Was but one objective of the Paulistas. They also intended to convert a pagan into a Christian and had new arrivals from the interior, baptized without much indoctrination. Such baptisms Montero traces through parochial registries. He also focuses on their indigenous ethnicities and changing identities and the difficulties of their lives after arrival in Sao Paulo that led to resistance and flights. The impact of smallpox and measles as well as malnutrition was often responsible not only for such flights but also for high mortality. Who was dying from the smallpox and measles, Managa? Who was always telling you, Managa? Yeah, the Naga, the Indian. Yeah, in the last chapter, Montero challenges yet another myth about the Bandero leaders and their descendants. As he demonstrates, frontier banderas did not lead to an egalitarian society. Instead, what emerged in Sao Paulo was great social inequality with an acute division of wealth, even within the free population, which led to rural poverty. By who in poverty, Managa? By the end of the 17th century. Thus, this book is more than just an ethnohistory. It is also notable for the breadth and depth of its sources and socioeconomic analysis. For readers of the Portuguese edition, this translation will be a welcome addition to an understanding of Montero's classic. Since the translator editors incorporate material from his dissertation and add biographical insights, the index is also quite useful. Highly recommended for classroom use. Due to its readability, it is also a scholarly comparative analysis of slave societies and the formation of colonial Brazil. Salute.
You big dummy.
All my niggas in Brazil, man. They call you Afro-Brazilians, my nigga. Don't let them do it to you, my nigga. You an indigenous Brazilian, my nigga. Your people been there since God said, let there be. Since the Most High said, let there be light, he put the Naga in Brazil. And the man came over there and enslaved them. He weighed war captives out of them, indigenous people, and enslaved them. Now he called them blacks, Negroes of the land, Negros de Tar, and now he called them Afro-Brazilians, African Americans. Ain't that a bitch? Salute.
You big dummy.
You know what I'm saying? It's a real history out here. It's a real history that do exist, and we're gonna always talk about it. We're gonna bring more sources. Yeah, not even past. Blacks of the land, Indian slavery, settler society, and the Portuguese colonial enterprise in South America. You know, they got articles all about it. They got a book if you want to go check it out. I already ordered it. You know what I'm saying? The knockers of the land. The Negros de Taro, Managa. Yeah, Negro. And was also used in a general way in the North American colonies. It was used in general, right? Some examples illustrate the use of Negro and Black as applied to peoples of American ancestry. Peoples of American ancestry, American Indians, Managa, Negro and Black. Negro and Black used for people of American ancestry, American Indians, Managa, Tamaricans, right? An example from the West Indies is especially illuminating. In 1764, William Young was sent to St. Vincent as part of the British occupation of that island. Living on St. Vincent were about 3,000 black Caribs, or free Negroes, black Carib Indians. We know all about them. About only 100 red Caribs, only 100 of them was yellow bones, or what we call red bones. It was only about 100 of those, but 3,000 of them, you can't call them nothing but black knockers. Caribbeans, and some 4,000 French and their slaves, who was Indians also, the French and their slaves. We know the French came through with their Indian slaves, according to Young. The British found it difficult to control the Caribs and wars were fought with them in 1771 to 1772, and again during 1795 to 1796. During the latter crisis, Young wrote an extremely anti-Carib tract designed to prove that the Caribs should be removed from St. Vincent. They were eventually defeated, and some 5,000 were shipped to an island near the coast of Honduras. And then they want to tell you the Caribs extinct. They shipped them to Honduras and called them Afro-Honduran. They told them their ancestors was from Africa. Young was anxious to prove that the so-called black Caribs were not true Aborigines. Why not? Because they're black, because they're Nagas. The Naga is the true Aborigine. Young was anxious to prove that the so-called black Caribs were not true Aborigines. They want to rob your title, Managa. Young wanted to prove it. He was anxious to prove that the so-called Naga Carib were not the true Aborigines, but were in fact Negro colonists, free Negroes, or Negro usurpers. This was important to him because he wanted to show they had no bona fide land rights or Aboriginal title to America. You ain't got no bona fide land rights or Aboriginal title to your ancestral land, Managa. And you sit here talking about Pan-Africanism and calling yourself a Pan-African. You ain't got no land rights there either. Your ancestral land right here, Managa. Stop playing. For our purposes, the interesting point admitted by Young is that the so-called blacks or Negroes were occasionally of tawny and mixed complexion, red bones and yellow bones like my sister, because of American ancestry, and that their customs, personal names, and languages were those of their native Caribs. Still further, they had no African names, they had native Carib names. Young admitted that they had repeatedly intermarried with other Nagas, American women, repeatedly. They say we don't want no other women. They married their own tribe. He consistently referred to them as Negroes, nonetheless. He consistently called them American Indians Negroes. Young also relayed as great deal of hearsay information about how the black Caribs had originated. Hearsay. It was only hearsay. Young relayed a great deal of hearsay. Young relayed a whole lot of hearsay, a whole lot of lies. Young made up a whole lot of lies about how the black Caribs originated, which is without foundation for analysis here. It's without foundation. We won't even analyze it. It's without foundation. We won't analyze nothing without foundation over here. The important point of this is that a people thoroughly American, a Naga thoroughly American, not African, a Tamarican, a Negro de terre.
Au bon sauvage. Au négré l'Amérique. Et l'Amérique négrée.
Thoroughly American. Thoroughly American in identity, culture, and language were called black and Negro solely because his hijack ass right here talking about mixed with African ancestry. They are not. They are thoroughly American. Being black or what you call Negro does not implicate African ancestry, you big dummy.
You big dummy.
The Negro, or so-called Negro, was on every continent, you sucker. And I'm Blackjack, this house of masculinity. Respect my house. We let the doorknob hit your ass with a most high split your ass. And we out. No pretendians. Real Nagas only. Strictly for my Nagas. www.strictlyformynagas.